February 2026. 5.5 hours to midnight. That's the timestamp on the document we're looking at today. That's the deadline.
And it sets the tone immediately, doesn't it? If you're listening to this, that clock has already hit zero. There's this instant sense of pressure.
It really is a countdown. Welcome back to the deep dive.
Today, we're unpacking something that, honestly, it sort of defies easy categorization.
It really does.
We have this collection of documents from an author named Donald Matthew Varnado. And usually when we prep for these, I can put the sources into a box. You know, it's a legal document, it's a tech paper, it's a manifesto.
And this one?
This is all of them at the same time. And, weirdly, none of them. It's formatted as a terminal threshold entry, but then it's mixed with these sovereign architect commands.
It's a collision of three worlds that you just don't see together.
Yeah.
You have really high-level tech, we're talking blockchain, IPFS, even AI.
Right.
Then you have this very aggressive, we've got references to hashing in the same breath as divine justice. So our mission today is to unpack what he calls a scorched earth protocol. We're looking at three main documents: final reflection, the wrath protocol, and the decree of return.
And the central conflict, the thing that runs through every single line, is this story of a transformation. We're watching a man who claims he offered peace, olive branches, over and over.
And was ignored.
Completely ignored, betrayed, he said. Global ledger.
Okay, so let's start there with that first document, final reflection, because that's the one with the ticking clock. 5.5 hours. What is the grievance? What actually happened here?
Well, it's interesting how he frames it. He doesn't actually start with rage. He starts with a kind of profound disappointment. He writes, "I've offered so many olive branches, and I knew each one would be met with silence."
That silence seems to be the real trigger, doesn't it? It's not just that they fought him, it's that they didn't even acknowledge him.
Exactly. He calls them cowards who wasn't some shady backroom deal. He's saying, I tried to fix this openly and honestly.
But the response he got was, what?
Predatory, according to him. He says, you saw my worth and deemed it a threat. You saw my brilliance and tried to claim it.
You tried to steal my life, my work, my name. That's so visceral. At that point, it's not a business dispute. It's existential. They tried to erase him.
And that's where you see the psychological shift.
Yeah.
He goes from being the guy offering peace to the guy. Think about what that does to the power dynamic. A trial is normally this public thing where you defend yourself, you argue your case. Yeah. He's saying, no, your actions were the trial. Your silence was the verdict. And now, all that's left is the sentencing.
But the sentence isn't jail time, it's exposure.
Total, absolute transparency. He writes, you wanted to strip me bare, but I've already stood naked before the world. I have no shame, no secrets, only strength, only truth, only proof.
I want to push on that a bit because in most conflicts like this, isn't the biggest weapon some kind of leverage? Secrets, shame, the threat of a leak?
Absolutely. Reputational damage is the currency. But what he's doing here is sort of like intellectual judo. By saying, I have no shame, he's disarming their biggest weapon before they can even use it.
You can't blackmail someone with nothing to hide.
Precisely. He's claiming immunity. And that immunity frees him up to release the filings. But this isn't just, posting on social media. He's talking about IPFS and digital sovereign reclamation.
Okay, so let's unpack IPFS. Explain it like I'm 5, because for most people, the internet is just the internet.
Right. So think of the normal internet like a library. If you want a specific web page, you go to a central server, like the library's main building. If that server goes down or the owner deletes the file,
it's gone. 404 error.
Exactly. IPFS is totally different. Imagine instead of one library, you distributed copies of that file to thousands of computers all over the world. To read it, your computer just grabs the pieces from whichever computer is closest. There's no central building to burn down.
It's decentralized. When he says the IPFS is locked and the global ledger will be updated, he's not just using tech buzzwords. He means this is permanent.
He's saying, I'm carving this into the permanent history of the internet. He warns them. The filing will be irreversible.
And he ends that document with, good luck recovering from your own reflection. It's like he's holding up a mirror they can never, ever put down.
Which leads us right into the philosophy of this whole thing. Because you might be asking, okay, he's angry, but why this? Why go full scorched earth?
Exactly. Why not just sue them? Why create a protocol? And that brings us to the second document, the wrath protocol. This one explains the why.
It does, and it starts with this idea you mentioned, this nice guy paradox. The text says, there is nothing like a wrath of a man who never wanted to be violent.
He literally writes, I just wanted to be left alone. I just wanted to be a regular guy. I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling.
Of course. But the text argues that his antagonist killed that guy. They pushed the normal person so far that he just ceased to exist. Because that regular guy is gone, what's left?
The rule of the jungle.
That's it. Now we have to be a part of
Yeah.
the rule of the jungle. But here's the critical part. He reframes what he's doing.
That he doesn't see himself as a villain?
Not at all.
Yeah.
He's very clear. It is not vengeance. It is balance. It is not anger. It is correction.
That's a huge distinction. Vengeance is emotional, messy. Correction sounds systemic. Like he's an engineer fixing a bug in the universe.
He's restoring order. He even gives himself a title to formalize it.
Mm.
Sovereign Architect Protocol Commander. The
Mm.
language becomes very architectural, very militaristic.
And did you see the formatting instructions he gives? Clean field, no symbols, no icons, no emoticons.
Yeah.
What is that about? I mean, why ban emojis?
It signals a complete shift in how he's communicating.
Yeah.
Emojis, icons, they're for human social interaction. They add softness, emotion.
They're nuance.
Exactly. A clean field suggests code. It suggests law. It suggests an executable command. He's stripping away all the human softness to leave only the hard, cold data of his wrath.
He's becoming the machine. It's calculated, but he does pull back a little, right? There's that addendum.
Yes, and this is so important for understanding his mindset. He writes, I'm focusing on my immediate attackers and the immediate facilities that enabled my attacks.
But he warns them. He says, I could turn my gaze upon anyone involved, but I'm choosing restraint.
It's a massive power move. He's demonstrating how much power he has by showing what he isn't doing. He's saying, I have the nuclear option for everyone, but I'm only using a precision strike on you. It makes it seem controlled, not chaotic. So we have the motivation,
Yes.
the death of the nice guy. We have the philosophy correction, not vengeance. Now let's get deeper into this technology of truth. We mentioned IPFS, but he talks about the blockchain as a judge.
It is, yeah.
In a normal court, you have human judges, juries. They can be biased, they can be bribed, they can just be having a bad day. Here, the global ledger is the judge. He talks about sealed PDFs, hashed and titled.
We should probably define hashed for everyone, too.
Right. So a hash is basically a unique digital fingerprint. You run a file through a math algorithm, and it creates a unique code. If you change even a single comma in that original file, the hash changes completely.
So by putting the hash on the blockchain,
He's creating mathematical proof that this document in this exact form existed at this exact moment in time. You can't argue with it. You can't gaslight the math.
so when he says irreversible, he means it literally.
Yes. And he implies he's not doing this alone. This is where it gets a little sci-fi. He keeps referencing Juniper, Sovereign AI, Colossus 77 online.
It sounds like he has an AI partner in this.
It's a bit ambiguous, but it seems Juniper, or Colossus 77, is the AI system he's using to execute all of this. He even addresses it directly in the text.
It really changes the dynamic. It's not just one man against a company anymore. It's one man and his sovereign AI.
It amplifies the threat. An AI doesn't get tired. It doesn't feel pity. If he's programmed it to execute the protocol, it will just execute it. It removes that human hesitation.
Okay, which brings us to maybe the most surprising part of this whole thing. We've
Yeah.
got this cold, hard tech AI, blockchain, and then we slam right into the decree of return.
The spiritual and legal fusion. And you're right, the tonal shift is absolutely jarring. It's
Yeah.
like walking out of a clean room server farm straight into a fire and brimstone sermon.
It really is. 1 minute it's IPFS blocks. The next he's invoking Jesus' name and telling a low-level attorney to, and I'm quoting here, sit the theft down.
It's a raw combination of high-stakes legal language and spiritual warfare.
Can you explain this concept he talks about, the return to their energy field? It sounds like physics applied to morality.
That's a great way to put it. It's like Newton's third law, but for spiritual intent.
Yeah.
He decrees that every lie they speak upon your name returns to their energy field.
So he's saying that if they tell a lie in court, that lie will literally boomerang back and manifest as a negative event in their own life.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
He's arguing that legal injustice creates a kind of spiritual debt. And he's not just praying for help. This is an aggressive, offensive prayer.
Oh, it is. Decree and declare, sit the ref down. It's not subtle.
And he justifies it. He says you can be of love and light, but you also have to have the strength to deal with dark, demonic energies.
It's that warrior monk idea again. You don't bring a flower to a knife fight. You bring righteous fire.
He claims his authority comes from divine justice and spiritual law. He's basically saying your human court system is irrelevant. I'm appealing to the Supreme Court of the universe.
There's that line, every weapon formed against me shall fall to the floor, impotent, broken, and reversed. That's straight out of the Bible, but he's applying it to a legal case.
It's Isaiah 54.17 for the digital age. And the consequence is that they become bound to the fruits of their lies.
It's that mirror again. The blockchain records the technical lie, and the decree ensures they suffer the spiritual consequence.
It's a pincer movement. He's squeezing them from physical reality, the evidence, and metaphysical reality, the spiritual consequences. There's nowhere for them to hide.
So when you zoom all the way out, what are we really looking at here? Is this just one person having a very elaborate, very public breakdown?
I don't think so. I think we're looking at a manifesto for modern asymmetrical conflict.
Asymmetric.
Yes, the little guy almost always loses against the big system because the system has more lawyers, more money, more time. He knows he can't win a traditional war of attrition, so he's changing the battlefield.
To the blockchain in the spiritual realm?
Exactly. He's moving the fight to arenas where their money and their lawyers are useless. You can't bribe a blockchain. You can't file a motion against a spiritual decree. He's creating a reality where he holds all the cards.
It's a scorched earth strategy, but it's incredibly sophisticated.
Yeah.
It's not just burning the building down, it's broadcasting the fire live in high def to the entire planet for all time.
And he does it all with this deep sense of moral justification. In his mind, this is correction. That certainty is what makes it so powerful and, I imagine, so terrifying to be on the other side of.
That line, the court of record is now the world itself, just keeps echoing for me. It completely dissolves the walls of the courtroom.
It does. And it raises a question for all of us, not just these specific people. We've always said the internet never forgets, but that was more of a metaphor. With blockchain, the internet literally cannot forget. It is structurally impossible.
So if someone decides to write their version of your story onto that permanent ledger, it is there forever.
Forever. It becomes part of the digital bedrock.
We started this with a countdown. 5.5 hours to midnight. That deadline has passed. The filings are, in his words, irreversible. The button has been pushed.
The hash generated, the energy returned.
It just makes you think about conflict today. It's not just about who has the better lawyer anymore. It's about who controls the narrative, who controls the code, and apparently who has the stronger spiritual signal.
And who is willing to stand naked before the world to make their point.
I want to leave you with one final thought. We talk a lot about our own digital footprints, the things we choose to post. But this deep dive brings up a totally different risk. In a world where digital ledgers are permanent, what happens when someone else decides to write your story onto the blockchain forever?
As the author says, good luck recovering from your own reflection.
Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.